Welcome to Two Tipsy Plants, the podcast where we're talking about plants and drink booze. My name is Sasha.
Why are you so soft, Sasha?
That's not what she said.
And my name is Sasha as well.
Great. It's good to be back after a big break. We did
Well,
take a little
the
bit of break.
recording break, call it that way. Yeah, we kind of had to pre-record a lot of episodes because we have a new co-host, but he can't really join us just yet because he's a bit too much. But I have a new puppy, an English Cocker Spaniel named Bolto.
Baltazar, and he eats my face all the time.
Yeah. So he's still learning. He's still a puppy. But once he's a bit older, he'll be able to join us together with Rosie.
Great. Great. He will join Rosie in a separate bedroom. It's fine.
No.
So, what are we drinking today, Sasha? Well, today, Sasha, we are drinking Teluri, which is a red wine from Georgia. I was quite surprised to see it, to be honest, on the shelves in a supermarket. You usually don't see anything like that. Like, first of all, we have seen the German wine. I got mind blown.
Wine blown.
Wine blown. And then I saw Georgian wine, and I was like, shit,
Yeah,
that doesn't happen at all.
It is very almost impossible to
And
say
it wasn't overpriced as well. So Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, this wine that we're having today is a Teluri, Seperavi, dry red. It's from the Teliani Valley from Georgia, as I have mentioned. And this winery in particular have been founded in 1997 and located in Telavi, Kakheti region. It is 700 hectares of vineyards in there. Comparatively small and young vineyard for Georgia, just because if you think of it, Georgia is one of the places where the wine have originated. They have been on the map like for at least 4,000 years old.
My personal favorite is their orange wines. Absolutely love them.
They call it amber wine.
Yeah, this, as in like not made from orange, but it's just the type of fermentation and the fact that they use the skins.
They don't remove them for as long.
Yeah.
That's the wine that we're going to be having today. And this particular vintage is 2021. I have never tried Seperavi before.
I can't remember.
We shall try.
Oh, that was a good one. It's also worth mentioning that we are recording, I would call it a cozy cast. We are recording from my house this time around, from a bed in our spare bedroom.
Ooh, it smells like cinnamon rolls.
I actually don't know if it's the wine or the candle that I have going, because it smells like vanilla, and yeah. It actually does smell quite cinnamony. No, I do agree with that. So yeah, today's cozy cast is paired with this cozy wine that actually smells like Cinnabons.
It does smell like cinnamon, like cream cheese Cinnabons, like you can smell the frosting on it.
It smells really nice.
Okay, please nobody judge me, but I'm going to rely on Vivino today for the tasting notes, just because I have never tried the Seperavi before. So some people say that it has taste of blackcurrants, plums, cherries, pomegranate, oaks and tobaccos, cream cheese, oil, cream and cheese, raisins, and eucalyptus. A lot of things to try to pick up in there.
Why? Are we trying already? I haven't even started. Okay.
It's delicious.
Oh, it definitely is dry. Unexpectedly dry.
I'm very much enjoying it. It's not that dry as you make it sound. It's not like multiple shower dry.
It's quite dry though, yeah. I like the way it smells. Like in terms of the flavor, I don't know. I need to savor it a bit more.
Deep berries and fruits, definitely on the nose. Vanilla, strong vanilla. If it's not a candle,
might be because it is a vanilla candle.
But it definitely smells more intense from the wine. So
it definitely smells spicy, like cinnamon and stuff, which is nice. I do like it. Have we actually mentioned what currencies we are talking about?
Not yet.
What we are talking about today? Oh, okay.
We haven't even talked about what we're doing today.
Whoops.
Spoiler alert.
We forgot to mention what we are talking about today. I guess I'll follow up on the Georgian wine because I do have a currency from Georgia, which leads us to the topic of today, which is plants on different currencies, which actually was one of my favorite researches, to be honest, because so I found a couple of currencies that are not like you would expect most of the currencies to have plants that are sort of endemic to that country, that are like special to that country. But sometimes you find plants that actually have a different meaning on currencies. I've got 2 examples of those which I found really interesting. Yeah.
This kind of research definitely was the most sucking in. You literally go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. And you kind of want to cover a lot of different...
Yeah, but then you need to think that, you only want to have your podcast like for an hour. And if you're going to cover the whole thing, it's going to be like a week.
I actually felt like that about the next episode that we're recording because I've done the research for that as well. And I've got a lot of plants. I'll hint the next episode's topic later because I do have a very good segue into it.
The good hint for the next episode will be flowers that look like genitals. Don't look like genitals, associated with genitals.
Refer back to our episode, was it 5? The plants in mythology?
Greek mythology, yeah.
Okay. Would you like to start or would you like me to start?
I will start with the Fijian dollar because it just has only one example of plant on it. The Fijian dollar, the currency that I'm going to be talking about, is the $50 note. The typical plant on it is Tigimushia.
Tigimushia, I don't know what it is.
I'm definitely butchering the name. The scientific name I will not butcher. Medinella waterhouse.
Okay.
Have you dealt with Medinella before? Have you seen it before?
How do I spell it?
Medinella.
Medinella.
You've definitely seen it before.
Oh, yes. Don't you have it?
I used to have it.
Oh, okay.
We also have it at the place that we used to work before in a cafe.
I remember, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, this plant is endemic to Fiji, and it's a rare and unique flower that is native to Fiji. It is found specifically in the moist forest of island of Tavinui, which is known as the garden island of Fiji. Distinctive appearance of the flower is renowned for its striking and vibrant colors. It has large crimson petals surrounding a white center, creating a captivating contrast that makes it highly recognizable and visually appealing. Also considered to be a Queen of Fijian flower.
Yeah, the Fijian one is like, it's very different because it's got like white center and red petals. That's actually really pretty. Yeah, sorry, I'm sort of Googling the pictures of the plants while Sasha is talking about it. Yeah.
And the other aspects I wanted to cover is just a little bit of fun facts that are connected to the plant.
Yep.
It has a mysterious blooming pattern. So the plant itself has a curious blooming pattern, and it was believed for many years that the flower only bloomed during the dry season. But the recent observations have suggested that it can bloom at various times throughout the year, and that just adds the element of mysticism to the plant. And that explains a lot, to be honest, why I couldn't make my plant bloom for a year that I had it, and I couldn't even make it grow nicely. It kept on getting crispy all the time.
Crispy?
Yeah, the leaves kept on getting crispy ends. And the thing is that I do not believe that my house was that dry. We're living in New Zealand, and the house I used to live in was quite humid all the time, so I have no idea what was going on there. But it didn't flower for me as well. But it flowers prolifically in the cafe that I've mentioned prior. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that it's from Fiji because it also comes from Philippines, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called Filipino rose.
Not sure.
Filipino orchid, I think it is actually.
Oh, that's really cool. I always thought that they only come from
Philippines.
Yeah, from Philippines only. Yeah.
Yeah. The other sad thing is about is conservation efforts. It's not a fun fact. It's a sad fact, to be honest. Because of the loss of habitat, it's kind of getting a little bit dead. Yeah. That is the Fijian Midnila waterhouse.
Beautiful.
Sorry, waterhouse A.
Jose.
Would you like to try to see what the hell is waterhouse A?
It's gonna take me too long to go through the book. Sorry.
It is fine. Maybe it's a lazy, cozy podcast today.
Yes. I will follow that up with another sort of island currency. Unfortunately, that currency, it's a former currency, actually.
If you don't mind, I will quickly add something.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout this bloody research, I realized one humongous thing. Currencies from Europe, currencies from the first world countries, essentially, they all look like they have been just stripped of plants. It's just people, constructions, or something just ambiguous on the currencies. Whereas Pacifica currencies, or like currencies that are from third, not third world countries per se, but from somewhere.
From like more of Asia, sort of Southern Asia as well.
Southern Asia, not India, because India also doesn't have much plants on it. Tropical climates, tropics essentially. They have nice and vibrant and fun. And a lot of currencies mention plants that are indigenous or endangered, which is quite nice.
Yeah, I will sort of add to it as well, because I started researching like the Bahamas and the Brunei plants, and also Romania actually, because all of their currencies have some sort of a plant on it, which I will upload that because I think it is great. So yeah, like, you know, $50, $100,000, they have different plants on it. But I thought I wouldn't go into it just because it will take a day and a half to go through all of them. But anyway, I will follow up with another island currency. It is actually from Cook Islands.
Ooh.
As much as I understand and from my research, it is no longer used.
Cook Islands as Papua New Guinea.
No, Cook Islands are Cook Islands.
Sorry.
They are friends of
Uncultured swine, I'm sorry.
They are friends of New Zealand, and New Zealand currency is actually used in Cook Islands. On their plants, on their currencies, on all of their currencies, see the white flowers that are on the side, sort of going up and down?
Plumeria rubra?
No.
Looks like it.
Yeah. No, it's not plumeria. It is actually a gardenia, Gardenia tahitensis, also called Tahitian gardenia, which could be a bit confusing because obviously Cook Islands is not Tahiti. It's also called tiare flower. It is a national flower of French Polynesia and Cook Islands. The name is somewhat kind of misleading because it's neither native nor naturalized in Tahiti. So it could be that another plant was actually confused to it was probably looking similar to this gardenia, and it was called Tahitensis, and then they've decided to change that name. I don't know. They keep changing the bloody names. It's very difficult to keep up with.
I mean, there are several plants that are called Tahitian, something like Tahitian bridal veil, which is just Triscantia.
Yeah. It originates from Melanesia and Western Polynesia, and it was introduced to Cook Islands and French Polynesia and possibly Hawaii during the, when people actually migrated to those islands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently it has some medicinal uses as well. In Tonga, a bark infusion is dripped into the nose, eyes, and mouth to treat ghost sickness. Interesting.
Ghost sickness. So exorcism?
And it has cultural significance in some Pacific islands where wearing a flower indicates relationship status. Which
is it single?
So a flower worn on the left ear means the person is taken, and the right ear means available.
Ooh. That makes it much easier. That's how we used to do it before Tinder and Grindr.
Yeah, it is a shame that this currency is no longer used because, again, it's got beautiful flowers on it, and it's quite a pretty currency. But I guess, it was demonetized and replaced with New Zealand currency in Cook Islands.
Thank you. That was an interesting fact. I'm kind of sad that it wasn't Plumeria rubra because it also looks like Plumeria rubra.
I think on Bahama currency there was a Plumeria. It was actually a Plumeria bahamensis, which is a type of Plumeria obtusa. But I thought I will not talk about Bahamas just because all of their currencies have flowers. So yeah.
Cool. The country that I would like to cover the currency of is Madagascar.
I like to move it. That's the second episode we're singing this song. Yeah.
And the currency is called Ariary.
Okay.
On the 20,000 Ariary, we can find a vanilla and a pepper. Vanilla planifolia and pepper nigrum.
Vanilla is an orchid.
I know.
Oh.
I know. I've mentioned that in my orchid as well.
I didn't, so that's good.
Spill the beans now. Yes, the next episode is about orchids.
Yes, I actually really wanted to cover because it was such a I was like, wow, vanilla is actually an orchid. But yeah, I'm glad that you are covering it. But anyway, let's get back to the currencies.
Yeah. So just some facts about the currency and the plants on that currency.
Mhm.
Vanilla is one of the most labor-intensive plants actually to grow. Each flower must be pollinated by hand and usually by skilled workers that are using toothpicks or a similar tool. So essentially, they're just fucking the flowers all day long. Like, and must be nice.
Great.
Vanilla orchid flowers and blooms for only a few hours and must be pollinated during the short window to produce any pods. It's just like it's a quick fuck.
It's a quickie.
It's a quickie. After pollination, it takes several months for a vanilla pod to mature, and they typically harvest them when they turn yellow.
And they need to dry them
And,
after that and
yeah,
ferment them. And...
Because at the beginning, the vanilla pod itself is green or slash yellow, and it has little to no flavor or aroma of the traditional vanilla that we know. So they have to process and ferment it. Yeah.
I guess that's the reason, because it is so difficult to make, the reason why there is vanillin
Available. Yeah, vanillin is just a chemical replacement for that.
Yeah, it's a artificial.
Artificial vanilla, yeah.
Yeah.
Or there was also a beaver butt.
Yeah, did you know that before that they actually used beaver butt gland to actually make the vanilla? Yep. Glad we're not doing that anymore.
Well, hopefully not. Yeah, and Madagascar apparently is the largest producer of vanilla, followed by the Tahiti. And the other producer of vanilla, do you know who is?
No.
New Zealand.
Really?
North of New Zealand, north of North Island of New Zealand, has a vanilla orchard.
Wow, that's cool.
One of my researches for the water consumption for North Island was on that. And compared to the vineyards, they are using a lot of water. It takes a lot of water to grow vanilla pods.
So, is vanilla also an epiphyte?
That I can't remember. But all the orchids are epiphytic. So I would assume
Not all of them.
most of them.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, let's not derail into orchids. This is the next episode. We will talk about orchids during the next episode, but that's really cool.
There was vanilla. I also have a black pepper. Black pepper, actually, did you know that white peppercorn, black peppercorn, and green peppercorn is the same thing?
As in, it comes from the same plant?
Same plant, same berry.
Is it different sort of stages of the maturity or different sort of treatment of the seed?
It's a maturity and treatment of the seed, yes.
Okay.
So it's similar to the bell peppers, if nobody knew. Green, yellow, and red bell peppers is the same plant. It's just the ripeness of it.
Let's agree to disagree. There are some varieties that actually are specific color, but anyway, yeah.
But yeah, green peppercorns are made from unripe berries, and the black peppercorns are made from the ripe berries, and white peppercorns are deshelled.
Okay. I wonder, like, I know that pink pepper, let's say.
That I don't know. I have not researched on a pink pepper.
Yeah, but it has different tastes. I just wonder if, like, the... Is it that hot?
I'm getting warm. This is the first time I've been actually warm in your
my
house.
house, yes, exactly. That's why I turned on the bead, because I know you're always cold. Okay. Yeah, so I know that pink pepper has sort of a different taste to it. But like I don't remember if white pepper and black pepper and like green pepper have different tastes to it. I'm assuming they must if people actually produce different peppers, unless it's done for like novelty and stuff.
I don't know. So just a quick finish on the Madagascarian currencies. 2000 note Ariary has the Nepenthes madagascariensis. Rings any bells?
Is it the palm?
Nepenthes.
No.
Nepenthes is the pitcher plant.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, carnivorous, covered in the episode Plants That Do Not Plant.
Plants that don't do a typical plant thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it has Nepenthes on it, and on $500 Ariaries, they have Revenala madagascariensis,
which is the palm.
Which is the traveler's palm.
Which was also discussed. No, actually, no, it was discussed in the Overachiever Plants episode. Yeah.
Why?
Because it has the most blue seed in the world.
Oh, okay. Thank you for reminding.
This is where the song "I Like to Move It" came again, because it is pollinated by lemurs.
Okay, and now we know, and now we remember, and now we know that taking a break from the podcasting removes some of the knowledge from your head, even though you've covered it several times and edited it. All right.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. It's actually really nice. Like,
Full circle.
I feel like when we started this podcast, we thought that we'll be talking mostly about New Zealand plants and house plants, but we branched out so much just because you just get interested in different plants all over the world.
Well, it's not like because covering just houseplants and covering just outdoor plants of New Zealand is such a niche. And
It's niche, but also a lot of different people, other people are doing it as well.
well, first of all, that and it's just getting boring. It will get just boring, and
Yeah.
the topic is just very overused. Let's call it
Probably
that.
repetitive as well. Yeah. Okay. Are you done with
This
the
is
Madagascar
Madagascar.
currency? Cool. I will talk about a very appropriate currency.
Let's
which
go to
is-
Georgia.
Yes, let's go to Georgia, which is 10 lari. Let's
Don't
spill some
spill
wine.
it.
Okay. Chink.
Your shoulder is red now.
My shoulder.
Mhm.
Oh well, it's a cozy cast, and I'm wearing a house.
House mustard shirt.
Yeah, which is now red because of the wine. Mm. So 10 lari. This is where, remember how I told you that not all the plants are actually the plants that are sort of native or endemic to the country. This is where this is a good example of it. So on 10 lari, there is a portrait of Georgian author Akaki Tsereteli with sort of his years of living, and also a poem called Spring. I will not read the whole poem, but I'll just read a little, just a little verse from it.
Is the poem by Kaki?
Yes. Spring's fragrance filled the air, and I inhaled the sweetness and was glad. The future seemed so rosy that I cried with joy. Oh, why be sad? So, on the note itself, on both actually the current one and the one that was issued before, like the previous series, yep, they have his portrait and a blossoming branch of apple blossom on the current one, and a swallow, like a little bird. So this particular plant symbolizes spring. Well, I couldn't
What does the swallow symbolize?
Again, spring, because swallows come in spring. And the branch obviously symbolizes spring as well. Well, that's how I understood it. I couldn't find the actual meaning of it, but that's how I understood the currency and the plant on it. But I thought I'll actually have a quick spill about the apple trees. Did you know that the first wild apple, which is called Malus sieversiae, is actually native to Kazakhstan, and it's recently discovered that it is actually an ancestor of all the domesticated apples. But apple trees are extreme heterozygous. Yeah. So rather than inheriting genes from their parents, they actually create new apples that are very different from their parents.
That's why grafting is important.
Yeah, so that's probably like the reason the tree does it is probably as a defense mechanism to different pests.
Pests, diseases, and just to essentially, it's a very good evolutionary adaptation. You end up evolving so much, and so quickly. But that fucks up the apple business so quickly as well.
Well, exactly. So that's the reason why the apples that you buy in the shop and apples in the orchards are actually grafted, just because you cannot produce the same tree from a seed of an apple.
Yeah,
it will actually be a completely different tree. So you graft the tree, like let's say if you want a Royal Gala tree, you actually have to keep grafting it to create the same Royal Gala apples. Yeah. And another fun fact about apples is, did you know that Granny Smith, the green apple, was actually discovered in Australia by a Mrs. Smith
Who was a granny?
1860s. Granny Smith most probably survived on the market because of its cooking qualities and freshness longevity. Because obviously it's not a sweet apple. I actually love eating it on its own. I know a lot of people don't, but
well, you like this sour and tart flavors.
yeah. So that's Georgian 10 lari and the apple blossom on it.
Cool.
And I'm glad we picked Georgian wine because it's quite appropriate.
My next currency will be Egyptian pound,
Is it a pound?
apparently.
Okay.
So a 25-pound note has corn on it and wheat.
Okay.
Well, because I did not cover much of that, because it's just corn and wheat. You are welcome to look through the book and see what does Zia maize, well, corn maize.
Exactly. I don't even have to open the book, boy.
Yeah, you don't have. Yeah, but yeah, it's corn and wheat, and on 50-pound note they have papyrus,
Oh yeah.
which papyrus goes back long time within Egyptian culture.
Well, not only Egyptian culture, but because it was pretty much the first paper ever used, call it that way. Yeah. Does it originate from Egypt?
Yeah, Nile papyrus, always there, always together.
Because it's a water plant, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
I just don't know what to cover about this plant. Like it's just when you see the plant like vanilla or peppercorn or corn or wheat, and it's just such a staple in your life.
You should have borrowed my 50 Plants That Changed History book, because papyrus is actually there. Yeah. What about corn and wheat? Do you reckon it's on it because of the, like...
Well, let's talk about that aspect of changing the world then. Corn definitely changed the world, even though you can't fucking digest it, and every time you go to the toilet, you're like, did I have corn today?
Well, it changed the world because maize is like the most produced crop in the world. Please don't quote me on that, but I think it is the most produced.
I would say, definitely used well for the stock feed.
Yeah, agriculture and stock feed, yeah.
And let's not forget about the popcorn.
Which I absolutely love, my favorite snack.
And the corn and the oils and the diesel made from corn as well, I think, as far as I remember.
Yeah, biofuel. You can make it out of corn.
About what can we mention about wheat besides being gluten intolerant?
Well, I mean, it's also another crop that kind of changed the world because it feeds half the world. Yeah. But both of them, the trouble with both of those crops is, especially maize,
They've been highly selected.
Well, also that, but also it is a monocrop, usually, because people keep growing it in massive sort of acres and hectares of land without actually replacing it. So it just sucks. Well, I mean, you know more about it than I do.
Sucks all the nutrients from the soil, degrades the soil structure, and ends up essentially not being as fertile of a soil. Organic matter gets depleted as well. And what you have as the end is a good example of American, what was that? Early 1900s, sorry. They had, as far as I'm concerned, dust storms because of the overplanting monocultures and essentially destroying the soil.
Because the soil loses its structure, because it loses all the nutrients. So monocrops, they target certain nutrients, right? So the reason why you kind of have to rotate your crops is because different crops need different nutrients, but also they kind of provide, and sometimes the nitrogen-fixing crops, they actually kind of bring back the
Let's
nitrogen.
simplify it in example terms, for example. Bean legumes are nitrogen-fixing crops, for example. So they will take some of the nutrients out of the soil, but they will bring in nitrogen, which is essential for the quickness, essentially, of a growth of a plant. If you plant soybean, for example, the worst thing you can think of, it will deplete of most. It will strip your soil from most of the nutrients. If you plant rice, same thing.
Rice requires a lot of water as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so essentially, pretty much monocrops, they are very easy to grow and harvest, but they are really, really bad for the environment and for the soil.
Yep. That's why inter-row cropping is always a good thing. Or
yeah, but it's costly, you see. That's why people don't do it. Yeah, it's a whole different topic. Maybe one day we will cover it, but it's the biggest problem that we're facing in the world. And yeah, let's not talk about sad things. Let's continue talking about fun things, which is the currencies.
And there was Egypt.
There you go. We found a way to cover it.
And let's go next country.
So the next, we are traveling to Israel. So I have 50 Israeli
I like to
shekels.
eat it.
And funny enough, on 50 Israeli shekels, there is actually another poet on it, Shaul Chernychovsky. He is actually a Russian-born Israeli poet. And there is a snippet of a poem, "Oh, My Land, My Homeland," in microprinting, and a citrus tree. So I started researching, why is there a citrus tree on a Israeli
What kind of citrus?
Currency. It just says citrus tree. I started trying to research it, and apparently what I found, and I think this is what it symbolizes actually, is Israel is one of the world's leading fresh citrus producers and exporters. Did you know that? That's why I found this research really cool, because like it's not only about plants, but it's just the facts. Hold on. Can you pull that curtain?
Sasha is just struggling with the sunlight at the moment.
Yeah, because it's like shining right into my... Like, it's nice to sit under the sunlight, but yeah, well, I cannot read. Yeah, so as I mentioned, Israel is the world's leading fresh citrus producer, but also, apparently, there was a hybrid of grapefruit and pomelo developed in Israel. There is another one developed in, like, University of California, but it's a slightly different fruit.
Grapefruit and pomelo. I thought pomelo is already a hybrid.
I don't know. It could be a hybrid of a hybrid. But it is called a Jaffa Sweetie, which is a trademark name. Its unique grapefruit-like citrus fruit grows exclusively in Israel and has become a sensation in Asia. Apparently, there is a name. The American one is called Oro Blanco or Pomelet, and apparently it's kind of similar to it, but it's not, of the American hybrid. With the unique flavor and vibrant color, Jaffa Sweeties are delicious on their own. So, yeah.
I did used to like pomelos, eating pomelos back in Russia.
They're
They're huge. They are dull in color, so vibrancy is definitely bringing a spark to it. But
they're very
it's like a
bitter,
neutral.
aren't they?
Well, if you're eating the pith, yeah. But the rest is quite nice. It's like grapefruit, but a bit more mellow and less tart.
So yeah, but it's really great that like on the currencies you're not only getting the presidents and politicians, but you're also getting like poets and stuff. Stop it.
On a bed, we have a donut pillow, and Sasha keeps on shoving the hand through the hole.
Well, because it's just here, like I'm trying to put my hand to rest, and it like fits perfectly in the middle of that.
Perfect fit.
Yeah. Okay, you go next.
Let's go to Korea.
Yeah.
Insert the music from Korea.
Hope South Korea.
Yes, South Korea. Currency is won. I actually have the whole bloody history of it, essentially. So let's go to 1966 to 1982. One won has a rose Sharon. Do you know what is rose Sharon? It's hibiscus syriacis.
Okay. I actually have another plant with hibiscus, currency with hibiscus on it as well.
I'm not surprised. Is it from Asia as well?
Well, hibiscus is kind of
Asian.
to Asia, yeah.
Is it China?
Rosa sinensis is.
I mean, hibiscus originates from China, but is your currency from China?
No, not all hibiscus originates from China.
Okay.
But like Rosa sinensis. Sinensis means from China pretty much.
Okay.
But yours, I'm not sure.
No, actually, this one is syriacis. So
Yeah,
from
that's what
Syria.
I'm saying, yeah.
The rose Sharon, also known as Korean rose or hibiscus syriacis, is the national flower of South Korea. The flower comes in various colors, includes pink, purple, and white, and symbolizes immortality and eternity in Korean culture. Rose Sharon is often used for ornamental purposes in gardens and landscapes, and due to its striking and vibrant appearance, it's widespread.
Actually, I think, did you say it's Syriensis?
Yeah.
So Syriaca is connected with Syria, but Syriensis, it doesn't really say what that means.
Syriacus.
Oh yeah, Syriacus, yeah, connected with Syria. You are correct.
50 won. 50 won have a stalk of rice on it, which is Oriaza sativa. If you want, you can look at what is sativa, because I'm actually interested what the hell is sativa.
Well, we have actually covered sativa before.
Good!
Yeah, and you don't remember as well. Sativa,
Well,
I think sativa means cultivated.
Let me just say that every time we're recording podcast, I don't eat, and we have a bottle of wine to us. So I'm sorry for not remembering shit.
I'm pretty sure sativa means cultivated, but let me just double check it.
So yeah, stalks of rice are present on the 50 won. Stalks of rice represent one of the most important staple foods in Korea and many other countries. Rice cultivation has been a fundamental aspect of Korean agriculture and a culture for the centuries. The symbolism of rice extends beyond food. It is often associated with the prosperity, fertility, and abundance.
Abundance, that's for sure. So yes, sativa means cultivated.
Cultivated.
Yep. See, I remember. Cool.
2006, 1000 won. You can definitely see how the currency have depreciated over the years. Plum flower, the Prunus mumi.
Mimi. Plum. Oh, that's cute.
plum flower of Prunus mumi is a flowering tree that blooms in early spring, often before the winter ends. It is admired for the delicate, beautiful, and fragrant flowers, and it holds a special place in Eastern Asian culture, including Korea. Plum flowers is associated with resilience and vitality, and it blooms even in cold weather.
I was just curious to find what the mumus?
MUME, 5,001.
No, it doesn't say it in here.
Black bamboo.
Oh, I like it.
Philostechus nigra. Black bamboo is a species of bamboo with a dark-colored culms, which means stems, that turn blackish purple as they mature. It is known for its unique and elegant appearance, making it a popular choice for ornamental landscape.
Yep.
Bamboo has a cultural significance in Korean traditions, symbolizing strength, flexibility, and modesty.
I have a feeling that again, it makes me a really bad landscape architect, but I can't remember if the black bamboo actually clumps or not. Because there are
Clumps?
like as in grows from the ground and spreads. Because there is bamboo that doesn't spread. And I have a feeling that the black bamboo doesn't, but don't quote me on that because I can't remember.
I know what you mean. Like it's the same thing with asparagus, actually.
Yeah.
It
Well,
will-
because bamboo is a grass, pretty much. So it kind of spreads like a grass, but there are bamboos that don't.
Be careful planting asparagus next to your house. It will destroy your foundation.
Or bamboo.
Yeah, all bamboo.
Yeah. Cool.
50,000 won. That's the last one. Bamboo. I love the name of the scientific name of this one. Bamboo soideae.
Okay.
So bamboo. It is from grass family, Poaceae.
Poaceae, I'm just thinking there is a grass in New Zealand, native grass to New Zealand called Poacita, which is like pretty much from probably family Poaceae, but yeah.
Bamboo is a versatile and fast-growing plant that holds a significant place in various cultures, including Korea. It is associated with longevity, resilience, and purity. Bamboo has been used for wide ranges of purposes, from construction and crafting to literature and art. This is Korea. I'm sure there are more currencies than that, but that's all that we have time for.
Yeah. With my next, we're kind of sticking to sort of Asian region. With my next currency, I actually have a currency from the country where both of us used to live before.
Singapore.
Yes. So actually not a lot of currencies.
Notes?
Not a lot of notes from the current series of currencies have plants on it. Well, at least the Singapore ones. A Singapore $5 note has a very significant plant on it. I'll show you the note. I'm sure you've seen it before, but like, have you ever thought about that tree? So, like,
Is it ginkgo?
No, it's not. You probably
Cypress?
no. It is actually a specific tree from the botanical gardens. So the picture on the $5 note, Singapore dollar note, on the back of it, on the reverse, you can see a 200-year-old Tembutsu tree at Singapore Botanical Gardens. There are also orchid flowers at the bottom.
Cattleya.
What the orchids? The dramatic garden city landscape dominated by the portrayal of the old Tembutsu tree, Fagria fragrans, or now it's called Certophyllum fragrans, which still stands on the ground of Singapore Botanical Gardens. Honestly, I can't remember the tree.
So what is the type of the tree again?
It's called a Tembutsu tree.
And do you know anything about it? What is the Timbuktu tree?
It's just a
because it sounds like it's the name of the tree.
Yeah, but it's a big tree. As I said, it's a Fagria fragrans. The majestic tree is more than 200 years old, and it is characterized by its firm and towering presence. So it has small red berries and has white flowers that are very fragrant, hence fragrance. Yeah.
Is it edible?
I'm not sure, actually. I don't think so. So the particular tree in the Singapore Botanical Gardens is actually the first one to be recognized as the heritage tree. So that particular specimen, which you can see on the $5 note, is a height of 32 meters and has a girth spanning 6 meters in circumference. It has since been fenced off, actually, because like before that you could... So the tree has like this branch that kind of goes to the ground, Very similar to the Wanaka tree.
Cypresses.
Yeah, cypresses and the Wanaka tree, like, the one, because it has like that specific branch that was recently broken off, actually. So yeah, people used to, like, you could actually come up to it before, but now it is fenced off.
Well, talking about the heritage just makes me think about a couple of things. First of all, think of New Zealand and how many trees over here are considered heritage.
Oh, too many.
Yes.
Sorry, but too many.
Some of them are too many, yes. And the other thing is, remember Singapore and which trees are considered heritage?
Yeah.
That is outside of...
Botanical gardens.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't think much of them.
Well, it's because the land is so limited. Like in New Zealand, you obviously have more land than in Singapore. It's a bit trickier to
have a heritage, yeah.
Heritage tree, and like, because it would be expensive not to have something built on that land. But
True.
yeah. Anyway, so the berries, they're not edible, I don't think so, but they are actually eaten by the fruit bats.
Fruit bats.
Yeah.
Well, mammals, so I would assume
I don't know.
it's fine. Don't eat it.
But I just wanted to note that, did you know that the first series of Singapore dollar was orchid series?
Typical, considering that in the Botanic Garden they have literally a section dedicated to orchid.
Yeah, but like, it's just, I feel like it's really
It's
cool,
nice
'cause
though.
obviously a lot of orchids, they come from, not all of them, but a lot of orchids come from like Southeast Asia and
Thailand.
well, Southeast
essentially.
Asia, yeah.
Yeah.
And Singapore obviously is a part of Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
So yeah, they had a whole series of banknotes with just orchids on them from 1967 to 1976. So that's my spill on Singapore dollar.
All right. From Singapore, we're going to another country that we have migrated from, to New Zealand.
How many more do you have?
I have New Zealand historical and current. So if you want to
Can we hold off with New Zealand ones then? I'll just cover
just
two more from other countries, and then we'll
great. We'll just relax, have a sip of wine, and be present in the conversation.
I'm just thinking, because yeah, I've got two from New Zealand as well, and I feel like we should leave them for the last. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we will leave the New Zealand dollars for the last. So we might sort of travel around Southeast Asia a bit more, if you don't mind. Let's travel to Malaysia first. Imagine we are going up, right? So from Singapore, we are traveling to Malaysia.
Why I have less than you, because I've done the rupees, and then I've looked at what you have done, and you have done rupees.
Have you researched 10 ringgits?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what's on 10 ringgits?
Can't remember.
Okay. On the observe, the front, you have Hibiscus rosa sinensis, which is a national flower of Malaysia. I did not know that. Hibiscus is a national flower of Malaysia. I think it was actually declared to be the flower quite recently. Oh, no, actually, no, in 1960s. The red of the petals symbolizes the courage, life, and rapid growth of the Malaysian people. And the 5 petals represent the 5 rukun negara of Malaysia.
Rukun negara sounds very Japanese, though.
Yeah, so it is actually found on a lot of notes and coins of Malaysian ringgit. But what I thought would be really cool to cover is the plant that we've actually covered in our the overachiever plants. It is a Rafflesia.
It is a pressure on me.
It is a Rafflesia. So Rafflesia, I can't remember if all of them, but I think most of them are native to Southeast Asia.
I have not seen any of them that are out of Southeast Asia.
I'm not sure, but yeah. So the particular one that is on 10 ringgit is not the Arnoldiae that we've covered, but it's actually a Rafflesia aslaniae, which is obviously a parasitic plant, as we've mentioned before in our previous episodes.
And a descendant of Aslan from Chronicles of Narnia.
Not quite, but you're very close. The flower was first discovered in the Royal Bilam Forest Reserve in the state of Perak in 2003. And it is named after the Sultan of Perak, Sultan Aslan Shah. So it is Aslania's name after him. The flower, actually, did you know that Rafflesia is named after Stamford Raffles?
Once again, Stamford Raffles.
Yeah.
Okay.
The leader of the expedition and the founder of the British colony of Singapore.
Haha.
Yeah.
Kind of fun to hear it. Like it just kind of makes sense and clicks something in your brain now.
Yeah.
Because when you think about Singapore and you remember where Raffles Hotel is, it is located just next to the Stanford Hotel.
Yeah. Yeah. The other interesting thing that I found is did you know that Rafflesia actually targets only one particular vine, which is the tetrastigma vine that grows in Southeast Asia?
That rings a bell. I don't know why.
So yeah, it's just like it is a holoparasite of only one genus of vines. The other one, there are actually the other two parasitic plants that are called Sapria and Rhizanthus that do the same thing, and they kind of look like Rafflesias, but they are not obviously Rafflesias, but they do the same thing pretty much, and they are the parasites of that particular vine.
Mhm.
Poor vine. But yeah, I found it quite cool, and I know you like your
Parasitic plants?
yeah,
Yes.
so I thought it was really cool to cover. And from here, we will travel to the last country before we go back to New Zealand. We will travel to the Hong Kong.
Plumera rubra?
No.
They all look the same.
So
Jasmine.
it is on Hong Kong dollars. It's not like a plant that you can see on the actual note, but it is actually on the watermark. The watermark, see that watermark?
Yeah.
So on all the dollars, they have that watermark of that flower. And it is, and that little sort of where the number is, that's also the same flower. It is called Bauhinia blackiana, so a cross of Bauhinia and blackiana, commonly called as Hong Kong orchid tree. Funny enough, it is not an orchid, but the flower kind of looks like an orchid. Like it resembles...
Clematis.
No, not clematis. It resembles an orchid, so I see where the name is coming
What
from.
about the tiger lily that you had in your garden? But pink.
Yeah, nah. It is fragrant, orchid-like, and is about 10 to 15 centimeters across in size. The plant is sterile, which means it does not generally produce seeds and fruit, and is hybrid between Bauhinia variegata and Bauhinia purpurea.
Ah, so it's one of those hybrids that does not produce any offsprings, and if you want to buy more, you need to go to the producer, essentially.
Yeah. Its Chinese name, Yang Zhijing. I hope I'm sorry, I might be butchering it, but sorry.
I do hope that you didn't curse in Chinese, because it's all about the tones over there.
Its Chinese name of Yang Zhijing has been often shortened to Zhijing, because Yang means foreign in Chinese, and this would be deemed inappropriate by PRC government. We will not go into the politics, but I found it interesting. A statue of the plant has been erected in Golden Bauhinia Square in Hong Kong. Although the flowers are bright pinkish purple in color, they are depicted white on the flag of Hong Kong. The plant is endemic to Hong Kong and was introduced to Taiwan, apparently.
Well, of course it's endemic. It's selected and hybridized.
Well, I wonder if it was actually naturally hybridized, because, some plants, they naturally hybridize.
But if it's naturally hybridized and it's sterile, it's not going to stay in.
Well, obviously, I'm guessing that people keep reproducing it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, yeah. This ends our trip across the Southeast Asia, and we are coming back to New Zealand.
Girl, you're tripping. New Zealand. Kia ora, guys. We are going to cover 1967 New Zealand banknotes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with a $2 note coin, which has mistletoe on it.
Is it There is no mistletoes in New Zealand, is there?
There are mistletoes in New Zealand.
Okay.
Mistletoe is a parasitic plant that attaches itself to the branches of other trees and shrubs. In New Zealand, mistletoe plays an important ecological role by providing food and habitat for various birds and species. It is introduced species. Let's be clear, it's not endemic or indigenous, but apparently it feeds birds.
You can see how the currency sort of changed from being British inspired into actually New Zealand endemic inspired, because obviously mistletoe is not endemic to New
No,
Zealand.
it's endemic. It has small, often white or cream-colored berries, and are important for food for birds. Important source of food for birds. $5. What is on $5?
Coffee and a tui.
Yes.
I just knew that it would be a coffee and a tui just because you are looking at me, because I did see that note, and I was actually sad that the coffee is no longer present on notes because it is so endemic to New Zealand. Yeah.
It is so endemic to New Zealand. It should have been considered for the national flag of New Zealand, but I think we have considered only silver fern for national flag.
Which is still great. Like silver fern is still great. It's just it's a shame that it's no longer on currency.
But yeah, it is just so present in New Zealand culture that you have it on your hand as a tattoo.
I love my tattoo.
Yes. Coffee is a native tree in New Zealand, known for its vibrant yellow flowers. Coffee flowers planted by native birds, especially tui and bellbirds. Do you know any other fun facts about coffee?
I know a lot. Coffee means yellow in Maori. Planting of coffee in spring. Flowering of coffee in spring symbolizes the time to start planting kumara, which is the sweet potato.
This is actually quite good things to remember and to pass generationally. And it's kind of knowledge that we kind of lose as generational.
Yeah, unfortunately. Hence, like, I'm a bit upset that it's no longer on the currency. Yeah. Do you have a fun fact?
No? That's why I refer to you, because I know that coffee is your favorite flower.
Yeah. It is also it is from a pea family as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acacia.
No, pea.
Pea.
No, pea family, yeah.
$10.
Still all $10.
All $10.
Yeah.
But let's compare. What is on your $10?
I don't have $10. I only have 20 and 50, the current ones, yeah.
On all $10, it had Mount Cook lily, which is Ranunculus lialii. The Mount Cook lily is actually a buttercup and not a true lily. It is endemic to New Zealand and found mainly in alpine and subalpine regions. The large white flower of Mount Cook lily are one of the iconic symbols of the Southern Alps.
That's cool.
$20.
Okay, what's on the all $20? I'm now curious.
Mira.
Mirror plant. Okay.
Is it on yours?
No.
No. It's Pramnopetus ferruginea. And it's open for discussion because I honestly did not find much information on that.
On mirror. It is a tree, shrub/tree, isn't it? And I'm pretty sure it's more common on the North Island.
The only thing I know about the mirror plant is the restaurant that is called Mirror.
Great.
And now I know why it's called Mirror.
If you want, I can throw a current comparison onto it. Yeah, so on the current $20 note, you can see, obviously, on the observe, you still have Queen Elizabeth II, which might change, obviously, because she passed away. And on the reverse, you have a Cariaria, which is a New Zealand falcon, and you have a Marlborough rock daisy.
Same as 1981.
Yeah.
Anything else besides the rock daisy?
Just the mountains, actually, at the back. But so Pachystegia is a genus of shrubs known as Marlborough rock daisies, and they kind of have distinctive leathery leaves and daisy-like flowers. They are naturally found only in dry areas of the northeastern South Island of New Zealand. I absolutely next time.
Canterbury.
Well, it kind of goes up to Kaikoura, actually. There are a lot of them in Kaikoura. Like as you drive from Christchurch to Kaikoura,
I haven't still been to Kaikoura.
Boy,
I know.
I thought we took your parents there once.
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
That was not Kaikoura. That was Akaroa.
Akaroa. As you drive from Christchurch to Kaikoura, if you take the coastal drive, if you're not the driver, sort of have a look at the cliffs and you'll see so many of Marlborough rock daisies there. It's like unbelievable.
Can I poach them? Don't poach plants from the...
Especially don't climb those unstable cliffs that have...
rock falls all the time.
Especially like during the Kaikoura earthquakes, which damaged that whole coastal way.
Not during, after.
Yeah, so apparently Marlborough rock daisies were actually placed under Olearia genus before.
That's dandelions, right?
No,
No.
O'Leary, it's another daisy-like plant, but it's a shrub. It's also native to New Zealand.
Mm.
And entire genus of Pachystegia is endemic to Marlborough and North Canterbury of South Island. Pachystegia insignis is widespread. It is found from the Wairau River all the way to Waia Uva River in Canterbury. There is also Pachystegia rufa and Pachystegia minor. And what I found really, really, really interesting is
Really?
there is one rock daisy that is not that often mentioned, but it is a Oho rock daisy, which is native to the Oho point, where, like, before the earthquakes, there used to be like a little point where the little seals, as in,
Oh, yeah.
the baby seals were, and then obviously after the earthquakes, the waterfall and the little pond got
Destroyed, essentially.
yes,
Erased.
and that rock daisy is very endangered. But there is one thing that I thought you will find it really interesting with what you are doing with the vineyards and sort of your proposition and stuff. On the same note, there is a Cariaria, which is the New Zealand falcon. And in 2005, funding was given to the Ministry of
It is used
Agriculture
as
and
pest
Forestry towards a program that uses falcons to control birds that damage grapes and act as pests in vineyards, as well as monitoring the birds and establishing a breeding population of the vicinity of the Marlborough wine region. I thought it was really cool.
Send it to me, please.
Okay.
The question I wanted to ask you, if you know what insignis mean.
I can't remember.
It means remarkable.
Well, it is pretty remarkable, I must say. It's very, because the range of where it's endemic to is very small. It is quite remarkable.
Why I wanted to see why it's called insignis is because all I've heard is ignis, and I'm like, fire, fire. Is it because it's in the dry regions? Because fire. The other thing that is actually present on 1981 $20 note is red tussock flower, Chinocloa rubra. So rock daisies on that note. I'm just gonna do the general spiel about it. It's a rugged coastal plant with white to pale purple flower, adapted to withstand harsh conditions. And red tussock flower is a species of a tussock grass that produces feathery flower heads. Both rock daisy and tussock flower are important component of New Zealand's unique alpine and coastal ecosystems. That is it for now for the $20 note. 1981. We have clematis, just generic clematis.
Are you sure it's not Clematis paniculata, which is native to New Zealand?
Like that's what I have seen. It just says clematis. It doesn't say anything particular. But is that what you have on your?
No, but I just know that Clematis paniculata is native to New Zealand.
So yeah, it is 1981, present on $1 coin.
Okay.
Do you know anything else about clematis paniculata?
It is called Puawananga, or Puapua in Maori. It has white flowers, and it's actually quite a good climber. Like it's got the white clematis flower, obviously.
Quite a good climber. Like in my previous apartment, every bloody spring I was fighting it to climb from my neighbors into my backyard.
This particular one is evergreen, actually. That's all I know about it, pretty much.
All right. Then we go to 1981, $50 note, Pahurakava.
Okay.
Is that what it was present on your $50 note?
No.
That's good. That's good.
It's not on the current $50 note.
Oh, that is such a waste, to be honest.
Well, yes, no.
But Pahurakava is honestly like one of the coolest plants in New Zealand.
Yep.
It is Metrosideros excelsa. I don't have much information mentioned on my in my document, but I know that it's a Christmas tree. And
do you know why it's called a Christmas tree?
Because if you look from the top of the flower, it looks like, I forgot what it looks like. A cross?
No. It is called a Christmas tree because it flowers during New Zealand Christmas, which is in summer.
Ah, no, sorry. When you look from the top of it, it looks like a cross.
It's quite a niche thing, and I actually learned it from your mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's called Christmas tree because it flowers during Christmas. It is a very slow-growing tree. It is evergreen. We use it quite a lot in street tree planting, but we'll use like the Maori princess, which is a slightly smaller species and it's more slow growing, so it's a bit easier
What does
to
a
manage.
smaller mean?
It can grow up to like 20 meters. It's a massive ass tree when it's mature.
Smaller.
Usually the smaller varieties are just slower growing, so like you can easily control them by obviously trimming them and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
I can't remember what are the fruit of pohutukawa. What does the fruit of pohutukawa look like?
I don't think it fruits. Must have it. Maybe it has a seed, but I don't think it actually has fruit.
Everything that has a flower must fruit. Small capsule with up to 30 in a bunch. Hairy, which gives them a gray color in the juvenile stage. Capsule opens to enable wind dispersal of seeds. Seeds are small for easy dispersal and entry into rock crevices. An ideal strategy for rock colonizing coastal plants.
I think you just don't really pay attention to the fruit of Pakutakawa just because you mostly pay attention to the flower, which is spectacular. Is that all for the 50 notes? Because I can cover the current one.
Pohutukawa actually related to myrtle, which is cranberry. I didn't know that. Well,
New
Zealand
cranberry, which is not even native to New Zealand, yes.
On what I have for the current $50 note is the.
Would you mind if I'll cover it?
But is it the same? I just don't know. Ripagonum scandus supplejack?
That's not the current one.
Sky blue mushroom?
Yeah, it's called Entoloma hochistetiae. Actually, do you think you can pass me the fungi book?
Yeah, I thought that's why you wanted to cover it, because it was a fungi book. It's
No,
literally on the cover of the book. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it is an Entoloma. So on the current series of the $50 notes of New Zealand, on the Observe, there is a Maori meeting house and a Apirana Ngata in the center, Sir Apirana Ngata. And on the reserve, you have a kokoro, which is a bird, in front of the Pureora Forest Park, and a sky blue mushroom. So mushroom is technically not a plant, because mushrooms are sort of a kingdom on their own.
I would still like to cover mushrooms at some stage as an episode. It's fun.
Yeah, but on the $50 note on the current one, there is a Entoloma hochstedterii.
A famous New Zealand mushroom.
Yes, it is called a blue pingel, sky blue mushroom, or it is also called a were were kokoro. So, do you see the connection there? I'll just read back the reverse. There is a kokoro in front of the Pureora Forest Park, which is a bird, and a sky blue mushroom, which is called were were kokoro. So,
do they eat it?
I don't think so.
Or do they like it in the same area?
No, there is a myth, call it that way. Then Nai Tuhe described that kokoro bird got its blue wattles, sort of like the cheeks, call it that way, from it rubbing its cheeks against the mushroom. So it is, hence it is called were were kokoro.
It was just smooching next to the Smurf. Shall we do a shout out to Fungi of Ataroa book that is produced by?
Well, it's written by Liv Sisson. Yeah, we actually went for the opening, for the launch of that book in Christchurch, and yeah, she seems like a really lovely lady. Yeah, it is common throughout New Zealand forests, where it grows among the broadleaf and podocarp forests. It fruits in January to July, and we missed it because it is August. Apparently, it was also reported in India in 1989, but potentially it wasn't the same species, like it wasn't were kokoro. So yeah, attempts to lab cultivation of Entoloma hochstedterii of were kokoro have been made to no avail. And apparently it was actually voted to be sort of the the mushroom of New Zealand in 2018 poll done by our own Manaki Whenua, Landcare Research.
I mean, yes, it's mushroom of New Zealand, but what are you gonna do with that information? Like, we have a plant of New Zealand, which is silverfern, or Ko-Fi, if you want to support our view. We have a bird of New Zealand, which is usually a tui. You have a mushroom of New Zealand, which is the blue mushroom.
Yeah, but it's something that only is present here, and it's not just blue. It's like neon blue. It's like fluorescent blue.
Would be nice if that was like a special place for each of those for each of those items on a single note.
No, I think that would be a bit too much, but I would love to see all of them on sort of all the notes from 5 to like 1,000. You know what I mean?
Not single note on all the
in one series.
In one series.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. No, I do agree with that.
It's like fun endemics of New Zealand.
Yeah. That's my spell for today.
So yeah, on $100 note, we have a red beech tree, Northofagus fusca. Red beech is a type of beech tree native to New Zealand forests. It is an important component of New Zealand native forests and contributes to the country's unique flora. The timber of red beech has been used for various purposes, including construction and furniture making. Also, last time I have been to the beech tree forest, you can see a lot of black mold.
Yes, it is a type of mold that actually grows on the sap.
Yep, and it produces a lot of like honey globules. Let's call it that.
Yeah,
and you can actually eat them. It's quite sugary.
Yeah, no, I remember that as well. Yeah, so I think that
is a wrap for today.
I mean, there are so many currencies in the world, and it is a shame that not all of them actually have plants, because plants they're very important in our life, and I wish just people appreciated them a bit more.
And that is a wrap on Two Tipsy Plants, and Sasha will cover that.
Well, that's a wrap on Two Tipsy Plants. Thanks for getting tipsy with us today and joining in on our plant-loving shenanigans. We hope we've inspired you to grab a glass of wine and give your leafy friends some extra love. If you would like to help our podcast, please feel free to follow so you don't miss out on the next wild and tipsy adventure, but also feel free to share it with your other plant enthusiasts. We will highly appreciate it.
Please like and subscribe and follow and comment and share.
And don't forget to spread the word, as we've mentioned. Keep it green.
And keep it tipsy.
Yay!
Like we are.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is a wrap, and whoop.